We're doing 3 party tips and 3 marketing tips this morning. Who is me, Cameron Toth. I have a family. You see them there, 4 kids in the house. Really, a lot of my life is revolving around them. I really enjoy my family, and you can see that from a lot of my social media posts and everything that I do. My mission in life is providing education and opportunity to people, and that includes my children. Toth Event Staffing was founded in 2011, and you can see there are 130 part-time staff in 2019, and we're building back, but that's the company. I provide waiters and bartenders and chefs, and have been doing it for a long time. And so one of the things that's really a big deal is that I do have a lot of experience with party planning. So I got some great tips for you that'll hopefully help you in the future. So the B&D trick, buying versus renting and planning ahead. And now when I'm saying buying versus renting, I'm not talking about home sales for my mortgage and my real estate folks in here. What I'm talking about is when you have a party, renting supplies and chairs and glasses and all that kind of stuff versus buying it. There's a case for both, and so we'll talk about that. All right, so the B&D trick. I want everybody to hold up their hands, make a B with their left hand and a D with their right hand. I want to see everybody doing that. Now, this is going to come in handy a couple of times today. So this in the party tip session stands for bread plate and drink. So when you're sitting down at a fancy table and like, whose bread plate is that, or whose drink glass is that? You're going to know because you're going to hold the B up and the D. The D is the drink, D for drink, B for bread plate. There you go. Problem solved. You're welcome. All right. On to the next. Buying versus renting. So when you're doing a party, there's this question around, okay, we're going to have 30 people. Do we rent dishes? If you're doing it for Thanksgiving, you're paying a lot of money for staff. It may make sense to rent the dishes, because paying somebody to wash stuff versus renting it makes sense. There's a lot of things that go into it. And I advise people all the time when the time is right to rent something versus buying it. A lot of times linens are so expensive to rent. I say, just buy it. You're going to use it again. You might as well. Renting, like leasing, doesn't save money. It saves hassle. So if it's going to save you hassle, that's a good time to rent. If it's not going to save you hassle, you're going to use the stuff again, buy it. All right. Amazon is your friend. A great example of this. I did a 4th birthday party for my son, Leo. This is Leo about 9 years ago. And we did this party. We did it at Sam's at Gedney Way, and we wanted to create some fun stuff for the kids. We bought these little like Tyco tables with umbrellas. It created a lot of interest and visual kind of stuff in the room. And we actually still have that table and use it. So it was a great thing. We bought those instead of rented it. We could have rented little benches. They would have been gone. We wouldn't have been able to use that cost again. We bought them and used them again and again. So great example of buying something versus renting. You can have a lot of fun with it. Not enough space in your storage. If your garage looks like this, don't buy it, rent it. If you don't have enough budget to buy it, make sure that you're doing it right. It's not worth it in those cases. And then I just want you to expand your mind around things like this, because I take advantage of corporate ability to pay for things with the business. Renting a tent because it's too big a hassle to put up and everything makes a lot of sense. A generator, though, maybe you want to buy that because you need it for the house anyways, and you can expense it with your business. These are things that wrap your head around. You're going to do events. We all do events in our life. Maybe it's worth it to pay a little extra money, because it's usually very expensive to rent things like that. Pay a little extra money, get the item. You can have it in-house. It's not a huge item, and it comes in real handy when you have that big storm that knocks out the power. All right, planning ahead. Holidays are plannable. Date nights are plannable. Yes, they are. My gentlemen friends in here, date nights are plannable, and Mother's Day is plannable, right? You can actually put it on the calendar right now. Get a room for you and your wife at the Marriott. Reserve a seat at the brunch, invite the family. You can do that right now. I know it's November, but you can do it right now. And that is the secret to doing a great event. We're in a world where supply is limited for a lot of things. It's a really good idea to plan ahead, look at those calendars, spend a little time this weekend, making some reservations. They don't cost you anything. Right now, I'm sold out of staff for Thanksgiving. We provide waiters and bartenders and chefs that can come and do the setup, do the service, do the cleanup, let you go to bed at night, not having to clean up a thing. You can't get staff for Thanksgiving right now. We're all sold out. Plan ahead. You can book for next Thanksgiving. No deposit necessary. I'll follow up with you in October. Plan ahead. It's going to make your life easier. Like with so many things. We talked about vision planning today, right? All right. That was the 3 party chips, the B&D trick. You guys remember that, right? And then buying versus renting and planning ahead. All right. Moving on. All right, you're going to see some familiar headlines. Plan ahead, 3 marketing tips. Plan ahead. The B&D trick stands for something different this time around, but when you do this B&D trick, you're going to remember it, right? And marketing is a muscle. All right. Tip 1, plan ahead. I love the way Denzel Washington puts this. He's kind of rephrasing a Benjamin Franklin quote, but we don't plan to fail. We don't plan to fail. We fail to plan. That's the nice way of saying it. And then Benjamin Franklin has the accusatory way of saying it. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Put a marketing calendar together, write it down in a book, use an app, do it. Plan ahead. It's going to help you so much in getting things on the calendar. When you have a LinkedIn account or a Facebook account, business account, and there's no content in it at all, that is when you are planning to fail because you failed to plan, right? Make sense, everybody? Some head nods. All right. I feel like we got to get people up and stretching. All right. B&D trick. All right. So again, we're going back to the B&D. Do what is right, not what is easy. Be authentic. So you're going to look at this and you're going to remember to be authentic. Seek to understand before seeking to understood. So when you post stuff in your marketing plan, what are you trying to do? You're trying to touch people where they are. So find out where people are, what their problems are, what their challenges are, and then address them. I loved in the sound bites, we were talking about, people giving their referrals. It's a great way of being where people are. You're touching people in their experiences, and that is very authentic. I love that. All right, the do, B and D, the B and D trick. Be authentic and then do it. Make sure that you're posting consistently. Consistent action creates consistent results. Marketing is a muscle, everybody. I created this whole presentation with Canva. You're seeing me use for the fancy graphic with me in the picture here. So we got one frame. The only reason I know how to do any of this is because I have practice. So canva.com app. I'm no genius. I've just put in some of the work in getting this all together and practicing doing it. I put this whole presentation, unfortunately, together last night. It doesn't take a long time. If you work that muscle, you can make it work for you. So practice, practice, practice. You'll take yourself from that guy that's lying on the floor there to that stud of a guy there with his weights there. That's what you want to do. Work that muscle. Thank you very much. You can text me now if you're interested in following up with me for anything. I encourage you, get in my phone. Love to have a conversation with you. 347-992-4537. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I'll take questions now. Really enjoyed preparing this presentation for you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up for me. I appreciate you so very much.